CNN Plus, the major network streaming service, got off to a sluggish start, barely attracting 10,000 daily users since it aired 2 weeks ago. The lackluster launch puts the future of the subscriber-based platform in peril. Massive cuts could be on the way.
CNN Plus planned on pouring $1 billion into the new venture over the next 4 years, but so far only a fraction of that, about $300 million, has been spent. We also know the network has halted hiring for now. The fate of CNN Plus remains to be seen, but we'll see what the incoming boss, Chris Light, will do to lift or cut the service.
Meanwhile, former Fox News anchor Chris Wallace seems to be having a meltdown over the news. John Nicosia of News Cycle Media is reporting that Chris Wallace is having daily breakdowns over the miserable launch of CNN Plus. He wants a CNN show or is threatening to walk. He is having staffers count how many times a day his promo is playing, which sounds very sad. Sad decision, obviously, to go from Fox News and have however many millions of viewers he has on a weekly basis, presumably, to go to this, which literally no one is watching. And to CNN's point, I don't know what else they're supposed to do. Obviously, this was going to be a fraught proposition to get their, just like it would be for any of the cable networks, to get their elderly TV viewers to figure out how to get a subscription, right, streaming service. That's young people do that, but young people are not watching CNN or Fox or MSNBC.
Right.
The average age of the audience is in the upper 60s, I believe. So all of these networks are going to have problems down the road, but CNN's having them now, and this was not an answer to that problem.
Yeah, I guess maybe the idea is that they understand that increasingly millennials and Gen Zs are cutting the cable cord, and so they're positioning themselves to have a platform where people can access their videos on their phones. But I don't really see what this is doing that the YouTube posts and things like that are doing. They're already getting boosted by the algorithm. Those channels are getting preferential support on YouTube and the generalized stations. So the real question is, who do they think is going to pay for more of content that already exists in such volume for free, especially when they're so disrespectful to the politics of younger generations? There are never, I will say this admittedly as a leftist, never any genuine progressives brought onto these shows. They bring on, Van Jones to somehow be the mouthpiece for what the youth are talking about today. It's laughable. Right. And I can see it working if they tried to change the content in some ways, but taking the same old players and putting them behind a digital desk, I just don't get it.
Yeah, and then asking people to pay for it. I mean, look, CNN has dismal numbers as it is. So why they thought that people would suddenly want to pay for content that they could get for free that they're not even really watching is, interesting logic, but even more interesting that they decided to spend all the money on it. Now, they do have some things on this platform that people might be interested in, but I'm not sure if they would pay a monthly subscription to access it. Like, for example, they're putting all of Anthony Bourdain's stuff on the CNN Plus platform. They have RBG. Is that right? I always get the acronym wrong, right? RBG. They have the movie on the platform. So they have some of their original content that they've placed on it. So it's not just getting, more Anderson Cooper than you couldn't get earlier, in the evening. You just couldn't get enough Anderson. So you got to go to CNN Plus and get more. They are adding these other shows, other content, but people, you know what CNN is going to say to you. I mean, if you want to watch Anthony Bourdain, I believe you could even maybe purchase those if you really were into it, or you watch reruns somewhere. I don't know how that would work, but so it just seems a monthly subscription seems a bit much for that kind of content.
Yeah, I think the best defense you could make of this is that, look, this is the future. They're going to have to have this eventually. So I guess why not build it out now and then eventually hope, right?
But they have digital. They have. I mean, that's how I watch. I don't have cable television. So I mean,
I watch on cable like an old person. I mean, although I watch far less than I used to. I used to just have the TV on all night and flip back, just to not because I'm a psychopath.
Yeah, that's sociopath stuff.
Well,
Robby.
I want to know what not because I enjoy it. I want to know what's being discussed in the
Fair
media
enough.
so I can criticize and react to it. But even that is too much of an ask now. I don't want to. I don't want to have that on.
They would have been better off spending their money just buying Wordle.
Oh, that was a
seriously.
You're right. Yeah.
I mean, this was something a little different. They were asking people to pay for it, and what they were seeing was that it was working well for Fox. So Fox has their Fox Nation, right? And that does fairly well. But that's because when you look at who Fox put on Fox Nation, I believe they have like Tommy Lahren on there. Tucker has this Tucker Carlson Today. They have people that younger generations actually want to watch on there, and Fox actually has done a better job of reaching out to younger generations. In fact, more young Democrats watch Fox News, I believe Tucker Carlson, than they do CNN or MSNBC. So they've, maybe they looked at that and they said, okay, there's a subscription base. It's working for Fox Nation, so it's going to work for CNN. It's not working at all. Although dismal.
Fox Nation, again, to be fair, Fox Nation has had a lot. It's been on for a while, right? They've had time to figure it out. I bet a lot of their early programming was similar to this extra with Anderson, or like some kind of random Anderson Coomer, how's your life kind of thing. I know they had that going on with some of their early Fox Nation hosts, and then eventually they figured it out and they know what people want. And theoretically, CNN Plus could eventually figure that out too. They haven't at this juncture, but I don't know that Fox Nation had it figured out at this juncture either.
CNN, well, they're just going to have a difficult time doing it, only because they're not willing to deviate from any narrative whatsoever other than the one that they spout out. And at least Fox News, they might not like Tucker or Laura Ingraham behind the scenes, and the things that they say, but they at least allow them to say it. And that is something, they have a different viewpoint than even the people that are even coming on the air before them and after them. So not everybody.
There's a way wider range of viewpoints discussed on the Fox News evening lineup than there is on CNN, which is a pretty damning statement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fascinating. 10,000. Not a good number. We get more viewers than that on even our less well-performing individual videos, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Well.
Pretty
Tomorrow
dismal.
on Rising, Will Jawando and Malika Abdul join us for our Rising panel.
We'll also tell you what's on our radar.
And be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that you never miss one of our amazing, awesome shows. Also, check us out on podcast. Where to find us. Anywhere you listen to podcasts is where you can get us. So be sure to subscribe and share to that as well. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.